If you're running into any pain or discomfort in your shoulders while laying down and sleeping, here are a few positions and considerations that might make you a little hard to cuddle, but could shift your experience. None of these are necessarily meant to be positions that you have to hold throughout the duration of the night, but rather positions that you can return to whenever you wake up and feel that you need to shift. Any amount of time collected in a more comfortable position may be time not collected accruing discomfort in the shoulder. And the idea and the aim of this as well is not necessarily perfect sleeping posture, but rather giving yourself as much quality, uninterrupted sleep because of pain as possible. I'll be demonstrating on my right shoulder, though this is your left. One of the considerations and the thought processes behind these alternatives here, if you are getting pain or pinching, and discomfort in that shoulder when putting on a jacket or reaching behind, one of the movements of the shoulder here, again, that's not a bad or unnatural movement, but one that might be sensitized for you at this moment, is this shifting forward of the shoulder and this sliding forward of the shoulder blade. Totally natural movements. We love these things happening, but that position in particular might be causing you a little discomfort. And what I'm thinking right now is when you lay back on your back, over the course of the night, depending on the positions that we're in, if the back is your sleeping position, as that elbow rests on the ground, there's a possibility for that shoulder blade to slide forward and put the shoulder in the position that may be causing a little bit of discomfort. So the way that we would alter this is by lifting the elbows. And here you're going to wall yourself into a bit of a fortress that might make it a little hard for Sandy to get at you. But here we are. Elbow, elbow. And then arms can rest on the chest or wherever feels comfortable. And so what I want you to notice here is the difference between the elbow on the mat and the shifting up of the shoulder. And then when I put the pillow underneath the elbow, it allows that shoulder to rest back a little bit towards the mat, opening up some of this tissue. So that could be a way to help provide a little bit of relief or positional relief if the position on the back is starting to accrue a little grumpiness in that shoulder. Alternatively, when laying on the side, if this feels comfortable, go for it. If it starts to get uncomfortable, here's something that we might be able to do to alter this position. I have my body weight here crunched in on that shoulder. One way we might be able to influence that is to tuck a pillow into the armpit and then lay on the side from there, clearly with a pillow underneath the head. Here, this is going to keep that shoulder perhaps a little bit more open and breathable. The pillow here between the arm bone and the rib cage might create a little bit of a gapping or an ability not to have the head of this arm bone driven quite so far down into the socket. Again, not that that's a bad thing, but if that's causing discomfort, maybe a pillow in the armpit while you're laying on the side, a small one like this, could help alleviate some of that discomfort. Additionally, let's pretend that this is the same shoulder, and I have you on your side and the grumpy shoulder is on the top now. Putting a pillow here across the ribs, letting the arm lie down here, again, might provide a little bit of spaciousness, a little bit of stability of the position throughout in the arm, and some adjustability here in a way that allows that arm to sit nice and steady without flopping to one side or the other, and giving, again, a bit of positional relief in that shoulder. One final thought to adjustments from the back. There is a bit of an interplay in tension and position between the pelvis and the ribs. If my pelvis is rolled back, my ribs are able to roll down. If my ribs are able to roll down, it changes a bit of the relationship between the rib cage and the shoulder. In terms of the angle of the rib cage and where my shoulder sits, because of things, don't need to get into it right now, when our feet are stretched out, when the toes are tucked underneath the covers and pulled down this way, at times it can lift or tilt our rib cage or our pelvis this way, which creates a concurrent tipping of the rib cage up, or a crinkling of the low back, which tips the rib cage this way, which then allows for even more shifting or rolling forward of the shoulder. Again, if this is a sensitive position, or one that becomes sensitive as you sit in that for long durations of time while lying in bed, then one of the ways we're going to help out that shoulder, as we went over earlier, is tucking a pillow underneath it, like so, on either one or both sides. Additionally, what we can do to help eliminate or alleviate the crank mechanism that might be shifting from the bottom up to the top is to stack some pillows under the back of the knees. I like to use big, broad ones here, just to give my knees a little bit of spaciousness, so I'm not on quite so much of a tightrope of keeping my thighs together. This allows me to let those thighs drift open a little bit, and you might play around with where you tuck them, either allowing them to stay underneath the legs here, tucking them up a little closer to support the back of the thigh itself rather than just then under the knees. What we're looking for is a position that allows you to get a little bit of backward tilt in the pelvis, maybe unwinding your spine against the ground as it lengthens. There we are. So here I feel a backwards tilt of the pelvis. I don't feel my low back lifting or fighting its way away from the yoga mat, or in your case, the bed. It's all able to kind of sit naturally flat with this support here, and walking my spine long, allowing it to lay down. There's an ease in my rib cage sitting down against my belly rather than lifting or pulling away. That's going to set my shoulder up for a little less torsion and fight into that position that might be uncomfortable for you, or as we're going with this current theory. And then the pillow comes underneath. To lift the elbow, arms can lay flat on the sternum, the ribs, whatever feels comfortable here. And again, that pillow can either go so far as to support the back of the shoulder stuff, or just underneath the elbow in a way that allows that shoulder to drift back and create some breathing room here in the front of the chest. If you have a pillow under your head, that's cool. You can explore to see if you even need one, if that feels comfortable. Now that we've lifted the legs, play around and see how that goes. These position changes can be done by themselves, or you can explore the pre-bedtime stretch routine that I'll send you in another video by itself, or you can put those two things together and see what kind of impact you're able to make on your sleeping experience. Again, the goal might not be to create a completely pain-free experience throughout the duration of the night, even though that would be ideal, but rather to see if we can open up longer and broader windows of comfort that allow you to sleep deeply for longer durations of time, or experience a diminished sense of discomfort and pain in the positions you're already sleeping in.